Oh, shit. Yes, I could take you beyond good and evil. These two disciplines, parts of one whole. The tower I'm building, I see four big dishes. What the future's holding, world banking, ventures, food, shelter, clothing. You want the bond to hold, bite on it. Free and bold, businessman, cold-blooded. In my hand is the globe, suspended, complete control of the earth's curse. The restoration of international commerce. I have craftsmanship and subtlety for war, ability to transmute energy to much more than D&D. What I bleed is nuclear turn glacier. After white heat purifies the hater, the creator of distant predicaments. Feel the pulse where I'm from, the cauldron of experience.
All truth is universal. It's certain things that are universal. Honor your mother and father. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
This rhythm is quite refreshing. With that being said, permit me to breathe on y'all for a second.
That will have experience just like you.
Look afar. You agreed to put a scar on the foot of God. Wisdom of Tahotep from the book of Ra. Heals all wounds even after you took Ahmad. All praise is due. 21 gun salute. Lick shots at you whack rappers. I smack actors. I track trappers down. Place the crown upon my head. Spread my argosy amongst the dead backpackers. Bring the royal back to life. Back to reality. It's all about reality. Not about a salary. For the love of this light. Naturally. Mesoamerica where Yeezys with bows and arrows be narrowly, barely escape sets grass. So carefully I trace my steps and ask Cherise to marry me through grace. She accepts at last. This is why white Jesus wept at last. Unsparingly erase every bit of your history. Similar to what you did to me. Couldn't get rid of me. You're a kid to me. My forebears swore theirs were raw for years. I spit keeper the gas. Fast forward. I'm the last poet, last priest, the last airbender to smash beast. Let us all hell niggas, nug on netta, the living word, y'all just some dead letters. Whether Anunnaki or Anasazi, the first Americans were not Africans, nor Nazi, Norsemen, Vikings, or some redskin, tribesmen, scientific proof, archaeology. So cosmologically, Caucasians lied about documented evidence with rocks cried out, wiped out from the top of Mount Sinai. I shout the land of our ancient Kemetic gods, lights out my route from South America. We dare to sail back across the Atlantic through West Africa, where we return under the 29th Perla to Moreau, Nubia. This they're scared to tell, don't panic. I'm not here to overthrow but restore. 1, 2, 3, 4, where they fail to record. Even some of our renowned scholars detoured from off the seashore to flee war just to be more. The rule of God is not for the dishonest man. Why does the sun stand still above the promised land? Well, after gunfire, there's plenty carnage, and in that whole thing, you have to pay homage. I am a descendant of the Amaru, Peru, Kermit of the sun, Ani, Tahoe, Tahoe, assist the double staircase, balance of the two lands. Not if I can't do it, then tell me who can.
It'd be a lot of secret passages that people have to come through in order to make it successful in this.
Hey, that's it. Shalom. What's going on, y'all? Oh, man. ToLU'S, what's up, brother? I figured you was in there studying and resting, man. Who remembers where we at today? We're at the Scrolls of Haya. It gets good. Y'all gonna like this, all right?
Scoping out my exit from this matrix where market and promotion is on hatred and fake.
So it's my third day, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's experience. Third day not on that clonazepam. There's another name for it. Gotta remember though, I've been fighting this for a long time to get off of it. When the Hindu doctor, the guy I told you about playing golf out there in Page, told me, I flew out the hook because, like, I went to, like, spell casting and doing some very, anyway, things I know. So I make half of them suffer. Then I don't really retract nothing, but I stopped in the midst because I'm going to deal with them, and I'm going to make an appointment to go over there to the VA. Doesn't matter which one. They should give me a vagus nerve. It's like 3 different things that you use. Now, I was supposed to go down here today, get in the sauna, and then do the cold water plunge, and then go into the red lights, because that's very beneficial. But it's the wind, man. After yesterday, snow and rain, hail, whatever, I'm like, no, man, I'm just not feeling it, because this is a fight. Y'all really don't, I don't think any of y'all ever, you know, I'm not talking about somebody getting on some dope and being, and then having for about 24 hours, 2 days of, you know, kicking it. No, this is, I've been on this stuff for over 20 years, lied to, and fighting to get off of it. And then people, I started with the VA and started dealing with civilians, right? About the narrative. And they're with me or whatever, you know what I mean? So I moved from there. I had a lot saved up. I need to be off of this because you can stroke, even on it. Like, no, that's why I meditate. That's why me being enraged 24/7, y'all never comprehend it. Just don't. I don't even attempt to. Don't cover it with light and dark. It's dumb. I can sit and explain it for hours. You'll never be able to figure it out. But that is what is giving me, you know what I mean? And then me sucking in energy. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do at all. But I don't care about saying these things. But getting off of this shit, this stuff, excuse me, it's literally, it's poison, y'all. You know what I mean? It is. And that's what they do to the veterans, okay? Now you see Ukraine, the nerve of them to sit there with all the Americans that went over there and helped them fight, these bastards, right? That's why I told you, these Zionists, doesn't matter the denomination. This fool had the nerve to be tearing off the so-called American flag, the black and white one at that. Like the nigga should have never put it on in the first place. You know how many Americans have died over there fighting with those bastards? All because of what Trump did. It's all act. This is all vaudeville. But y'all, I'm still seeing goofies from Montclair, my hometown, well, place where I was born. All of this is my home. But I guess hometown. Still talking about MAGA this. So I put Mace. You know, why don't you put Mace? You know, I'm not going to read it out because the last word is, you know, caca. But these people are this number of big hypocrites, you know? And as long as they're comfortable, they're going to be made, hold on. They're going to be made very uncomfortable, and this is, I'm going to smile when it happens. It's going to happen, y'all. It's just no way around it. But fighting this stuff, I probably should go out and walk for like an hour or two. I might do that. I clean off my boots because they had all kind of crap. Every time I turn around, I got to sweep all the crud is bringing in. I really want to throw some grass seeds down because grass is growing. But it's a fight, and I know some would say, well, then why are you mentioning? It's not renting space. I've lived with this crap for over roughly around 20 years now. So yeah, it's not no space rented. The thing is to kick it off, but my physiology, the physical, is no different from yours, right? Snapback, you know what I mean? So up here, it's always going through the Rolodex. I'm always looking and studying whatever they have out here. I'm waiting for the idiots to correct it because it's very correctable. But at the same time, because everyone has choices, I do my part. You dig what I'm saying? 3 days, y'all. This little tiny hill. And what they've done to create it, when there was always a legitimate way, they could have sit there and says, you know what? Why don't you go over to our Sprouts and get some lavender? We're going to write you a prescription for lavender and get some organic lemons. See, that's why I have no respect for doctors. They can sit in my face and not authority. And if they make a mistake, well, maybe the enemy wants to see if something's going to happen. All right, that's how dumb they are. Okay. Yeah, it's an experience. What's happening? Well, y'all know it's like to have like 3 cups of coffee. For those guys in the military, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, imagine that when the doctor says don't drink the coffee, and you going drinking and you running around. What? You ever seen those little kids screaming? Because of their anxiety? Well, take that and magnify it 100-fold. No, seriously. Right now, I'm racing. No, literally. Like, zoom, 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 zoom. But I'm so used to it. I have to ignore certain things. You know what I mean? I have to literally ignore certain things. Like, it's okay. It's 3rd day, you know? If it got to a point where it felt like, not death, I wouldn't care if that to happen. I'd be like, oh, and get shit jumping. But if certain things happen, and I know that there's still things, I have a story to tell, there's certain things, and if I had to, I would take a quarter of that pill. That is very calming. And it's not the placebo effect either. It is not a placebo effect. It literally, that, and they put you on 1 gram. And I was like, what? One of the whole thing. And I'm like, and it's twice a day when they start you. It's like, what is this? They didn't have to do it. This is the system that you're dealing with.
The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So only people that's scared.
They got the world here. And these goofy little retards, these racists, looking at Africa and all these places, Ethiopia and all these places. Let me show you, like the tiki huts and all that. They got grand cities better than here, man. They got America looking like a 3rd world country with a 3rd world attitude because you got dumb pale skins and you got worthless melanated individuals who are so conflicted and caught up in this fake ideology of these. That'll be for another day. I've been around the world enough and I've seen beauty. And the people, the women, everything. And then I come back here and it's like, is anybody paying attention? And so what I did was I got away from the cities because they are just, and then people wonder what's wrong. Y'all are right there and you refuse to leave. But y'all are acting and carrying yourselves like 3rd world people, whatever that narrative is, because it's a lie. Right? And who you think's doing it? I'm so tired of hearing about the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. They're just little tentacle, they're little fingernails on a much bigger. All right? I told you the CIA and them answer to NASA all over. Well, I was trying to have a NASA fooling the people out there and UK and Australia, all these places. How you think they're gonna blow y'all the hell up? Fake Israel, that's with purpose. So you accept it. Or they show you that they got you so inundated, you won't do nothing.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in the everyday.
Green light now. Thank goodness.
Gimme.
Gimme.
Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school.
It's gonna be a good read.
Everywhere, big business. You want to be successful.
Say bomb.
You want to be
Oh
like
man,
Trump.
I got it, y'all.
Push,
Nobody else wanted to speak up, huh?
Step, crush.
So we got 4 observers who don't want to like, and they don't even know what they're looking at. I don't care to know who you are. Matters me not. Thank you. Anyway, you other one. I said I'm not a coward in the wind. I don't have a yellow streak. Nor am I a homosexual who wants to get a costume on so I can get some vengeance. But then they say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I would say, be careful coming over here and being very disrespectful. I think it's a game. Everybody thinks it's a game until they realize there's no there's no winners and losers. It's just probably some goofy with a costume going, oh, I want to get a shot at him. Like, please. what if I invite you? Anyway, this is going to be a good read, guys. So I was going through this, The Crowd, The Study of the Popular Mind by Gustave Le Bon. Yeah, I'm going to share a little bit, the sentiments and morality of crowds, how things, like I said, the control. Like me, I can definitely do a different thing and bring people in, right? I don't want to, no more. They'll just come when they're afforded. But the thing is, it's not about control. That's the easiest thing. It's about the fact that people give up control unknowingly, and they think they're witty. They think they're wittingly. You know what I'm saying? That they're full of wits and everything. They think they're right and they know everything. All right? Y'all hear me say it all the time. Everybody's a know-it-all, right? I mean, I don't know nothing, but I'm gonna share a little information I have. And right now, and that's why I'm gonna read chapter 2, but not the whole thing, just a little bit. You'll be able to see, you know, some of you like actually being out of control and somebody else controlling the dynamic. No, it's facts. It's sad, all right? For those who get in that conundrum of ideology of sadness and all that bullshit, but I find it funny. Yet, it's a reality, okay? It's not like they haven't studied and practiced it. A lot of you are controlled, opposition of self. You're madness of chaos. You're so chaotic. You know, where's the diversion? Where's it at? And I know people want to, individuals, they're call y'all persons of interest. Do you know what a person is? But anywho, you figured it out. They're increasing it. How many of y'all in the cities look up on top of your buildings and you see those big, you know, those big so-called cellular towers, and you see that big thick black cable, and then some of them get that red and green one? That's a weapon. That's not because you want to have faster dial-up. You had that with AOL, and AOL still exists. You know, they got y'all so fooled because it's convenient. You know what I mean? I mean, if I'm wrong, say you're wrong, right? I have no problem. I have no problem whatsoever being wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. It's when you think you're right and you're 1,000% wrong is where there's no imaginary or marginal line. There's no 68 parallel. You know, it just doesn't exist. Here, me and Total Z, he was locked up for almost half his life, right? Me and him never chatted about our history. Even he knows that we came through South America. And I'm of the Chickasaw, the Choctaw on my father's side. Passed down history. Legitimate. They couldn't fight nobody. And then when they did get to fight, it was a mess. And usually it had some, I don't know what you want to call him, some wayward Negro who want to go and shoot you in your head from the back because you're scary. Oh, he whooped him before he died, too. Oh, yeah. Maybe somebody could pull the records up. Harlem, New York. Yeah. Okay. Now, my mama's side. And here, German, real Germans. Not these fools running around claiming it because of the reset. Oh yeah, I'm German, that's what I was told. And we speak, you know, no. Okay? Once the original people there were inundated, killed, forced off, first segregation, migration, first, how you said, Trail of Tears. You know, Italy, all the places, all these new names, all that. That's what a lot of those folks in so-called Africa, a lot of the original ones melded with some other individuals, right? And they kind of died out in history and truth. Well, they're still there, but they're not, you know, what you think. And then think about all the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, about people that pretty much made the so-called west coast of Africa. Never in my time, my existence, until John played You Know Who on Roots by that individual, Alex Haley, stealing it, the witch called Africa Queen, whatever, I don't know what he started from. Anyway, nobody ever heard nothing about being from Africa. No one. Now you had certain people within the black community of the churches pushing something like that, but most people didn't They didn't buy into it because you still had the old heads around the big mamas. So why is it that we're supposed to legitimize the people's indecency and their false narrative? The Indian killer is the Indian himself. Y'all never read any of the real stories to see how vicious our people could be, but and without emotional feelings. It was a righteous act. But then you see the peace, the lie, and then the subjugation, the deportation, the POW becoming the slave, and experiments, and everything else. You'd be surprised at how many fought back with their hands and tore up a whole lot of them so-called psych wards and a lot of them peoples in there. But y'all don't know where to look to find this information. Okay? I'm going to also be bringing out some words next live. All right? I've been pulling them up and saving them. Because it seems like people are still stuck in this ideology that comes from an enemy. Whatever they're doing has nothing to do with you. It is a perversion. So stop partaking in their perversion. It's like when I see these IUC and all these other people walking around with the Star Rim Fam talking about ish, ish. First of all, we didn't need things for identity. We didn't need, well, talisman are real. But that's the stepping away from natural existence. Going into the next consortium to which you're not supposed to play. Alright? Let's get into the read. I decided to do that. I tire of certain things. Yes, I do. Get a little drink of water. And besides, I have a whole lot of energy. Yeah. It ain't kind of energy like you get up and go run, but it's a messed up energy. Good energy with bad energy. Let's go like that. Okay. Chapter 16, The Scrolls of Haya. ML, what's going on? Producer Griffin, how you doing? You guys were sitting up there looking without hitting the like and saying something. I was playing with you. From the Book of Sheikh. Translation from the Ashkane ancestral language. That's what it is, Sheikh. Translation, Ashkane. Hey! Okay. All right, let's get right into it. Other monks were guided by a whisper to Haya's chamber. This is a short one. So, chamber. There sat the boy, 13 years old, on the stone floor, his eyes once again fixed on the strange light floating between his shoulders, small as the palm of a hand. Yet its glow held the colors of dawn and the shadows of a world yet to be born. The monks, fearful yet drawn to the unknown, heard the boy's voice, aware of their presence, inviting them to ask, where do we come from? What are we? What awaits us? We're at this one. I'm just going to grab you again, okay? And the spear answered with the murmur of time, you come from the beginning without end, from the light that does not fade, and the love that does not perish. Though the walls imprison you, and the veil of the skies deceives you, the source dwells within, waiting to be found. And so they listened and became part of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I think that is just... Is that not a grab? We'll read the last part. Okay? For they are but reflections of what has been denied to you. The true sky has no limits, and the celestial lands are closer than you believe. But your fear keeps you distant, and the power within you remains dormant. I have to tap into it myself, see? As years passed, Haya became an increasingly enigmatic figure within the temple. The monks could not deny his wisdom, but neither could they ignore the unease he stirred in those who listened. The voice spoke with a certainty that defied all understanding, and his words began to spread beyond the temple walls. Haya has spoken. And in the midst of the silent halls, where the voices of the ages fade, the voice spoke, and his words thundered, as if tearing through the stillness of the skies, revealing what was yet to come before the eyes of humankind. The monks gathered around him, not out of curiosity, but summoned by a call they could not ignore. and in a drive to witness what was unfolding there. Seated at the center of the temple's main hall, Haya began to speak with the cadence of a prophet. Just stay with me. As if the words were not his own, but came from a source beyond human understanding. His voice was soft, yet each phrase seemed etched into the very stone of time. Listen, you who seek in silence, for the truth is not in what they have shown you, but in what dwells deep within you. You're always looking outside, right? The source, that which gives life to the breathing and sustains the still, is not the skies you gaze upon with longing, nor will you find it in the wells that surround you. It is here within you, latent, waiting to awaken, okay? Just going through the chapters we read, just to bring you back, all right? The very end. Remember this, he said as he left the hall. You are not what they have made you believe. You are greater than the stars they show you, vaster than the walls that surround you. No facts. Okay? For it was all meant to be contemplated when you look within yourselves. When you remember your connection to the source, then the veils will fall. That's what they're keeping you from. And the celestial lands will welcome you as lost children returning home. Revelations of the soul. Here we go. The temple no longer held its usual calm. A different era could be felt. Haya's words had begun to spread beyond a child, right? A youngling spread beyond the stone walls, and now people walked long distances, arriving burdened with pain to hear him speak. Monks from other temples also came seeking answers. Though Haya always spoke to the people without giving much importance to ranks, for him, no one was more important than another. Those who had listened to his teachings felt transformed, as if every phrase he uttered broke an invisible chain that bound them to an imposed reality. Haya continued to speak, no longer as a child, but as a sage at time, right? Who had traversed time. His words were profound, complex, filled with images that seemed to etch themselves into the soul of those who heard them. Some said they had spoken with Haya, and he always calmly repeated, the messages that must be delivered will reach their recipients, sooner or later. It will reach millions tomorrow. A truth cannot remain hidden forever, nor can it be destroyed. One afternoon, as a storm raged over the temple, the monks gathered around Haya in the main hall. There, at the center of a circle of expectant faces, he began to speak once more. The human soul is not a lost fragment, nor a spark that fades with time. Not at all. It is an eternal river that flows toward the source. And though they have blinded you with lies, that connection can never be severed. The custodians, those who have imprisoned you, know that your potential is infinite. That is why they raised the walls of ice and projected the false skies you see at night. They created constellations to distract you and told you that you are small, insignificant. But I tell you, you are as vast as the oceans and older than the stars they have showed upon you. A monk timidly raised his hand, his eyes reflecting both respect and confusion. Yes, just pay attention. Why would they do this to us, he asked. If we are as powerful as you say, why wouldn't they allow us to live in freedom? Haya looked at him with infinite compassion, as if he understood not only the question but also the pain that motivated it, because they fear what you are. In the days of the first humanity, he replied, in the days of the first humanity, when Asgard was a garden without walls or chains, humans walked as gods. For ye are gods. They understood their connection to the source, and their wisdom knew no limits. But the colonizers arrived, and with them came lies. They told you that you must serve, each in different ways, forcing you to lose your connection, claiming you were unworthy of eternal light. And thus they tore you from what was always yours. The storm outside roared with greater intensity, as if the sky itself reopened to his words. Another monk, younger, leaned forward. You say those stars are projections? That the skies are a veil? You must lift the veil, right? But if that's true, what lies beyond? What is hidden behind those ice walls? How about the fact? First, pay attention and learn who you are. Haya closed his eyes for a moment, as if searching for the right words. A faint smile appeared on his face, and he then said, Beyond the walls, the celestial lands extend, the realms the custodians cannot control. There, the source flows freely, and those who cross those barriers discover their true nature. There are no leaders or lords in those lands because all are equals. But the walls are not only made of ice, they are made of fear, of lies, of shadows. You've been told you cannot cross them, that there is nothing beyond. But I tell you, whoever conquers their fear, whoever awakens to their truth, will also see beyond the veil. The monks murmured, but none dared interrupt him again. The depth of his words had overwhelmed them completely, igniting something in their hearts, a spark of hope that had slumbered for generations, a profound inner awakening. Haya continued, his voice resonating like an echo in the hall. Each of you carries that light within. The source does not ask you to seek it outside, because it has always been within you. The custodians have made you forget this. They have filled you with doubts and fears. But your essence is stronger than their chains. I mean, look at this. I just want to read this again. Look at a motor. Look at your vehicles. Look at the house. You get it repainted, pressure wash, oil change, fluid changes, put new camshafts and spark plugs. But with you, they leave that to the fake rich. They tell you, no, everything's okay. We have certain organizations, corporations. You've been incorporated, right? And even though we're poisoning you and we're lying and saying we're not, and we're telling you, but there's limits where it's okay, you continue to consume it. And even in blind non-adherence to your reality. And your reality being a perversion. Isn't that enough to look outside the lie, back inside yourself? Each of you carries that light within. The source does not ask you to seek it outside, again, because it has always been within you. The custodians have made you forget this. They have filled you with doubts and fears. A nasty, nasty bucket of, a mop bucket, filled with dirty water, mopping the floor over and over. But your essence is stronger than their chains. When you remember who you are, neither walls nor false skies will be able to stop you. An elder monk who had remained silent throughout the gathering finally spoke. And what of the custodians? What will they do when we begin to awaken? Won't they try to stop us? Haya nodded slowly, his expression grave yet serene, showing a deep sadness. The custodians will always try to stop you, because their power depends on your submission. But remember this, their strength is not real. It is an illusion that crumbles. When faced with the truth, they control the projections, but they cannot touch your soul. They raise the walls, but they cannot extinguish what resides within you. When enough of you awaken, their dominion will come to an end. The atmosphere in the hall was both heavy and electrifying. Haya's words had sown both hope and fear, and the monks understood they were witnessing something that would change their lives forever. Yet they also realized the risk. Haya's teachings would not go unnoticed, and the custodians, if they found out, would not hesitate to act. Some monks even began to whisper that Haya would bring death to the temple, in contrast to cowards, the ones who wouldn't wake. And the people there followed Haya with joy. They felt they had found the meaning of their lives, reconnecting with a forgotten part of themselves they believed had never existed. And please, don't nobody think Jesus. Stop it. That night, as the storm began to subside, the monks retreated silently to their rooms. Yet for some, Haya's words continued to echo in their hearts. They knew what they had heard was the truth, a truth that liberated them but also put them in grave danger. At the center of the temple, under the light of a candle, barely illuminating the empty hall, Haya sat silently, his eyes fixed on a point beyond the walls. He knew the battle was only beginning, and that his words, though powerful, would not be enough to stop what was coming. Lost fragments. Yes, indeed. Ninja Radio, salutations. What it do? Joel held the pages with a mix of reverence and frustration. We were in a discreet location, the sound of the wind filling the silences between his words. He spread the pages over an improvised table, letting me examine them as he pointed to the torn edges of some. Some pages are missing, he said in a low voice, as if afraid someone might overhear us. I don't know if they were torn out before these reached us, or if someone deliberately wanted to hide something specific. But what remains is enough to understand the impact Haya had in his time. I carefully picked up one of the pages, understanding the weight of what it contained. The words were written in an ancient style, yet it was clear they spoke of a young Haya. First at 13 years old, then at 17, who had begun sharing his message beyond the temple walls. Joel continued. It says here that at 13, Haya left the temple and began speaking in public squares, drawing people and monks alike. It was as if his very presence had a magnetism that attracted all who sought answers. But there are parts that speak of Haya disappearing at 17 for a journey to distant lands. I think what enraged the authorities of his time the most was his audacity to question the structures of power and the narrative imposed by the custodians. He pointed to a page and handed it to me. I extended my right hand and began to read aloud. And Haya went out into the world, walking among men and sages, and he spoke to the people of the value of their existence, of their connection to the source, and of the invisible chains the custodians had placed upon them. You are not slaves to their story, Haya said, nor are you bound to walk in the shadow they project. The light you seek is not in their words, nor in the skies they have shown you, but within your own being, where the source awaits you with open arms. And those who heard him marveled, for his youth contrasted with the wisdom of his words, but the custodians began to fear him. And for they knew that a man who awakens can ignite the spark in 1,000 more. Joel interrupted the reading, his face reflecting both admiration and unease. This wasn't just a spiritual message, Claudio. Haya was tearing apart the very foundation of the manipulation the custodians had built. And look at this. He pointed to another page that described how Haya directly challenged the officials' narratives. And in the squares he spoke at 17, to the elders, to the young, to the wise and the humble, saying, the story you've been told is a prison. A web of lies, designed to keep you docile. They've told you you're small, that the world is vast and empty, but I tell you, you are infinite, and your home has no limits. The custodians have stolen your heritage, hiding in lands that extend beyond, and manipulating the skies so you believe there's nothing more than what they've shown you. But the truth, hey Marcus, what's up, beloved? But the truth lies within you, waiting to be remembered. Silence fell between us. Joel dropped the page on the table and looked at me seriously and then asked, do you realize what this means? This young man wasn't just defying the custodians. He was offering people a path to freedom that made him more dangerous than any armed rebellion. I nodded, feeling his words resonate deeply. Excuse me. Haya's teachings were a direct threat to the custodians' control over humanity, not just through force, but through the manipulation of perception and history. But it doesn't end here, Joel continued. There's a note in the margins written by whoever translated these texts. It says the records of his speeches in the squares are what drew the custodians' direct attention. They began sending agents to monitor him and later to try to silence him. He paused for a moment and then added, but that wasn't the end of Haya. Not yet. After returning from a strange journey, they began to hunt him down. According to a section that seems to summarize missing translations, he found ways to reappear and continue his message. It was as if he knew his time was limited, and that's why he spoke with such urgency. Joel set the pages down carefully, his hands trembling slightly. Hey, Lucy. Many pages are missing, Claudio. But what's here is already enough to know that Haya represented something the custodians could never control, the awakening of humanity. Outside, the wind seemed to intensify as if nature itself responded to the power of what we had just read. The scrolls of Haya held truths far deeper and more dangerous than we could have imagined. Is that pretty awesome, y'all? I'm going to read the next two in total, and then we'll get into about the author, because it's going to be the last two, and they're pretty long, and we'll pop away right into that. Okay? Challenge. I hope you enjoyed the reading, everybody. Greetings. It's good to see you all up in here. Oh, I got you, Patricia, right? Yeah, I got you. Anyway, it's good to have y'all up in here. I hope you enjoyed the reading. You can't hit the like, guys. It's not going to hurt you. We've got more than enough. Somebody hit it. I guess they pulled out of here and they were like, ooh, removed it. Like, it's okay. I'm not higher. That's a major joke. But anyway, it's good. We got 2 more chapters. We're done with that. And we'll read a little more about the author. And then we'll get into his journey to Antarctica, which is pretty freaking good, okay? Because I was peeking through that, and you know how that goes, all right? So it's 45 minutes. That's good enough. So I wanted to make it kind of quick because I want to sit back and meditate and get my head clear. Look at a little kung fu, all right? Let me see. All right. I mean, we got 10 of y'all up in here who's speaking, and I got 9 likes. What's the problem, man? You okay? Anyway, whatever. There'll be more people, all right? They'll come on in. I appreciate you guys, all right? Come up in there right quick. Because I can't do it on... I could have done it on this one, but I could go live on the tablet, you guys. I have a video I want to upload, and I'm going to upload that in about 20, 30 minutes, okay? Y'all might like it, okay? Maybe I'll turn this down. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's giving me a hard time to go on my own chat. Ain't that about a something? I just wanted to send a little greeting, all right? But I see some people having a hard time putting it in there, so I decided to put it in there myself, if you choose. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, I was counting the heads in here right quick. I was wondering what's wrong with hitting the like when you first come in here. First time, whenever I go on people's videos, first thing I do is hit the like. Before I greet everybody, or usually I send one greeting for everybody. Then after that, then I go over there. If I'm in the live, I'll Cashapp. You know, I mean, I'll hit them with 5, 10, or 15, or 20, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm in quite a few lives that I go into that I don't let everybody see. I'm not rich, okay, by the fiat standards. I'm rich morally, which you should be, okay? And okay, there it goes. Why does it do that? That's weird. Anyway. Yeah, baby. Wow, I've been live. I'm about to get off of here, mama. I just wanted to share that. All right. And I wanted to say salutations. It's good. Salutations to everybody. I appreciate you guys. Okay. I wanted to see if I can do this. I can only do that in. Can't do it here. Can I do it here? No, I can't do it here. Okay. I was going to try and do something. And I wanted to see. I know on my laptop. So I can't do it here. It's storming. Get that rest on. Anyway, let me get off here. It's only like 40-something minutes, but I read it. I read 2 of the chapters, and I went to the next one. I wanted to save the last 2 chapters. They're kind of long for tomorrow. And I want to get right into about the author and then his expedition to Antarctica. And I'm going to read a little bit out of The Crowd, a study of the popular mind, which is, for me, it's like sociology and psychology. It's all, like, to me, all wrapped in one. And it lets you know that, like, you know, y'all, you'd be surprised. It's your own control. And that's why I want y'all to free yourselves from this inundation, this thing y'all hold on to, like, as if it's, I don't know what to say, but it's like eating sugar, you know, and you shouldn't. You know what I mean? You shouldn't eat it. And at least the doctor will tell you that part. But it's a study of the popular mind, okay? And how people are easily influenced. The very thing, the CIA, PSYOPs, everything that's being utilized. All right? I hope that's worth something to you guys. All right? So, again, I appreciate you guys. They're going to keep trying to hide something and think some kind of interest. And I told you they're stupid. All right? Trust me. They're very stupid. And I can legitimately say this as I've had. They are beyond listen, they're so freaking stupid. That's all I can say. All right, I'm gonna read it so that way you have a little more knowledge. Instead of just saying things, you'll actually know a little more. It's better when you have a consortium of sources of information. It's like doing a kick, and learning a front kick for the first time. I used to always tell my students, well, before you leave here, you're going to do that front kick 1,000 times. They'd be like, what do you mean? So I run them through a 200 regiment kick, walking down the street, another 100 regiment kick, kicking the bag, the front kick low so they don't hurt themselves 100, 150 times. Then I have them repeat it beside the bag 150 times. And then I say, look at me, and I break the pads out. And before they know it, they kicked 1,000 times. And I says, no. I feel the man that doesn't know all these funny kicks. But that front kick, I fit a man who has practiced it 1,000,000 times, because that means that he is sharp as an arrow. That's a kick that you're not going to defeat. You get where I'm coming from? So I'm going to share a little bit of that. It was an awesome read. I was in here just going through it, and I'm like, fighting. You're really going to like it, okay? I don't know, did you get it, Baby Girl? Baby Girl Slide, did you get that book? I have a few more coming, but this one right here, you order this one, T?
No, not yet.
Yo, for real. I know you, yeah. Because we have people who actually like to get these things and read them and share them with you. Some people get in the flame and the fire. You know what I mean? And the other one that I've been reading for myself, okay? And children of the light and shadows and bada boom, bada bang. Yeah. When you think about it, right? The creative explosion and inquiry into the origins of art and religion. We don't need them to tell where it's come. A lot of stuff that you see that's misquoted and stories mistold actually are telling you secrets and things. But you hear what they say, obviously, the Orwellian factor strong, they're going to lie because they don't need you coming out of that slump. They need you looking at these idiots, going to these big MAGA things. What I say the red carpet was. Okay? All right. Just want to make sure you guys are aware. Okay? And don't worry about the Margaret Sanger books, all right? when I read those to you, you know, Cherokee Bill and all that, because I don't like the person that wrote it. The Pivot of Civilization and Woman in the New Race. I'm gonna read those together because it's really ugly. How y'all got fooled into this, and then most people are starting to really go and see these black churches as the devil's keeper by way of the Vatican, to which that Rothschilds and them answer to themselves. Okay, that's right. That's who they answer to. They're the bankers for the Vatican, right? Then you got all these people running around talking about them Masons and this and that, and they're a bunch of idiots. Okay? Stupid is as stupid does. Doesn't matter what's being grabbed out of it. The reality is, stupid is as stupid does. Okay? Anyway, sisters, brothers, catch y'all in the AM.